We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next. Today on an all-new Daily Helpline. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tabatha Coffey.
Sorry, cry me a river. I mean, it's cold work for a reason.
Describe what you see when you look in the mirror.
I don't see a complete woman.
You're a warrior.
Yes, I'm a warrior.
Welcome to the Daily Helpline. I'm Miles Edcox.
And I'm Spirit. We have got a very special celebrity guest to help us with the show today. I cannot be more excited. Now, her skills as a hairstylist were first introduced to the world on Bravo's Sheer Genius. And now her brutally honest business skills are putting companies back on track with the hit show Tabatha Takes Over. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tabatha Coffey. Yes.
Really good.
I'm sorry.
Hey, so glad to see you. Tabatha, your fifth season of Tabatha Takes Over. That is so amazing.
Thank you.
That is so amazing. Plus, I gotta talk about it. Own it.
Own it.
What made you write this book? What inspired this?
Honestly, the support from everyone. So many questions I get, and it goes from relationship questions, business questions, life questions, balance. And it was really motivated by all the fans that support me and so many questions coming to me that I just wanted to share the information. And what I do and what I've found is really successful in business and life.
You know, one of the things I love about your work is you can see the heart coming through, and you're so solution focused. So I'm really grateful to have you here with us today.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Yes.
Tabatha is here today because she shares a special connection with each of our guests. And first, we've got a mom whose 12-year-old daughter posted an innocent photo on social media, and a bully jumped in and their life got turned upside down. So you guys take a look.
I have a 12-year-old daughter named Pilar who is extremely talented, bright, and has an amazing outgoing personality. But last year, Pilar was the victim of a bully. Pilar posted a picture on the internet, and one of the boys at her school decided that he should comment on it. And his comment was that Pilar was not posting her whole body because she was fat and ugly, and that she should kill herself. She started getting phone calls, and she would get video calls, she would get text messages, and it was just nonstop. It got to between 15 to 20 times a day. It escalated to the point of kind of no return for a while. After the bullying, Pilar lost her confidence. Pilar basically went from being the kid who loved to get up and go to school in the morning and was the straight A student to not wanting to go to school. She was sick to her stomach. She was depressed. I was getting phone calls about her behavior. I felt frustrated, I felt angry, and I felt completely helpless.
How hard has it been?
I think it's probably one of the hardest things I've dealt with. As a mom, we definitely want all of our kids to maintain their innocence. Pilar is my youngest, so she's my baby. Want her to stay my baby for as long as I can have her my baby. And I think watching her go through everything she's gone through as a child and see it change her personality and affect our lives the way it has been really, really hard.
I can hear it in your voice. And so describe the emotion when your baby got bullied.
I think the hardest thing is I went through the same thing with weight, and I look at Pilar and I don't see her as overweight. I see this amazing, outgoing, wonderful child. I see her personality, her spirit, and I see her struggling and hiding food from me and hiding things, and I don't know what got her there. I know that she was picked on. I know she was bullied horribly. The things I read that she went through, I just can't imagine anyone doing that to another person. It completely changed her as a person.
So one of the things I want to just remind you of is I want you to feel free to express yourself freely, because Pilar is not hearing this. This is about you right now. We'll hear from her later in the show.
Okay.
The question that I have, because this really touches me as a parent. I have 5 children, and so I can really relate. And I wonder, what was the hardest thing that you saw or read or heard in all of this? What was the one that just really got you?
I think that when someone basically told her that she shouldn't be posting pictures of her entire body because she was too fat and ugly.
It's so ridiculous.
And that she should kill herself and put herself out of everybody's misery.
Yeah, I mean, and we have one of those. I looked at it and, I mean, it broke my heart. It's a photo of her and Pilar, and it's laugh out loud, my dog is crazy, and then the comment, Pilar, you're the ugly, fat ass bitch. That's why you can't have a pic with your whole body in it.
You know what makes me so angry? I was a very obese child. I didn't have social media when I grew up. So I got bullied, but it was face to face. You know, it was kids at school, and you had to really have some balls to be a bully when I was a kid, because you had to stand in front of the person and say it to their face. Now, bullying is so passive, and everyone just hides behind, you know, a computer screen and a cell phone and says hateful things like that. It just has to be so hard for her to escape it. What do you do as her mum?
I think that it got to a point where we took down some of the pictures and thought maybe that would kind of slow it down. It got to the point where she was getting phone calls. We'd block phone numbers. They'd come from other phone numbers. She would get video messages, which couldn't be blocked.
For their parents not to realize how just horrible this is. I mean, it really ruins people's lives. Yeah. How's your daughter changed?
It's made it really hard for her to focus at school. Her grades have dropped. She's always been in advanced placement classes. She's been that kid that stays after school to help the teacher, that everybody loves. And now I get phone calls home about her behavior, that she's acting out in class.
Did you talk to her about it?
We have talked about it, and she gets very sensitive, very withdrawn, and then she shuts down for a little while.
You know, I'm wondering what's happening there with you.
I think that this is probably the hardest thing for me to go through, because at one point in my life, I weighed over 200 pounds that ate from an emotional point, and I know how it would affect me if someone had been there falling apart, not knowing how to handle it. It would have made it worse for me. So I think I kind of put up a mask.
I think you're touching on something really important. Because all I've heard so far is you talking about her. And I think you are getting lost in the mix here, and your identity has just kind of merged as a parent with your children. And you came on here and you asked the question, you know, how can I help my daughter get past bullying? But I'm wondering, how do we help you get past bullying? Because that's one of the common things that happens to parents, is they personalize it. Because at some point in our life, all of us have felt not enough, and it's been reaffirmed maybe by a bully or by something. And so when your daughter comes to you with this experience, being broken by what's happened, it takes you right back to the moment when you were broken. And instead of responding as a parent, you respond as a broken little girl.
I could see that.
Does that fit?
Yeah.
Because you were heavy, so you understand what it's like to be overweight, and clearly
I think I
you're in great
understand
shape
what
now.
it's like to feel what it feels like where she is right now. I can relate to that feeling, and as a mother, to think that my daughter feels that same feeling I felt, so helpless, so much like she and I used to communicate about everything. The fact that she has things that she's hiding from me now. She's 12.
So what are you most frightened about for her?
I want her to have her confidence back. I want her to be a 12-year-old and enjoy as much of her childhood as she can as a child. She's an amazing girl. And since she was a little girl, I taught her, people would say how pretty she was, and she knew that her response was, and I'm smart too. It's not what you are on the outside, it's your inside that matters. And she's pretty much the same girl on the inside, but some of these outside things have affected that. And I think I've probably let outside things affect me for way too long, and I want to stop that from affecting her before it gets to the point where it's gotten for me.
if I could tell you anything, you just showed us your strength. I think one way as parents we try to show up in strength is try to have it all together for our kids. But sometimes our kids need to see a vulnerable piece of us. And when I saw you get to your heart and your tears, I felt your strength. And I don't know how much you're able to show that to her, but if you can show up and show that to her more, I think we'll move further into building her own self-confidence, because there are these things called mirror neurons, and she will pick up on your emotion and catch it like a cold. And if she sees it, you don't have to be buttoned up and put together all the time, and it's okay to feel broken and hurt sometime, and I got you anyway, her self-confidence is going to go up, and she'll begin to be bully-proofed so that these people won't have the impact anymore. But it kind of starts, it starts with you, by having open dialogue, making sure you're not blaming, helping her strategize. Those are 3 important things that you can do, and just having conversations. And I think you've probably done some of that, but I really want you to do it from a connected place.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah.
We're going to take a break and stay with us. We've got a lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Coming up.
When I was a kid, I got bullied all the time.
Say it again and say it a little louder.
Shoulders back when you say it.
You can't bother me because I'm better than you.
We have a little surprise for you. We love getting your questions, so we want you to keep them coming via Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage. Who knows, we might just answer your question here in the studio audience next.